Yes, people. It's your girl Amma London live in the studio with our crew on Hear Me Out Show UK on ABN Radio. It's now 11:23 a.m. in the morning, and we're here with Amma London, Amazing Grace, Chef Nee, and Dr. Julius, and NK the Voice. And we have a lovely guest in it. And with our lovely guest as well, Niiella. Hi, Niiella. How you doing?
Hi. I'm good. Oh wow. Okay.
You've entered.
I'm good. How are you all?
Fine, thank you.
Awesome.
How's your journey here? Was it easy?
It was a little bit long, but it was okay.
Yeah.
You guys are a bit far, or maybe I'm far, depending on whose perspective we're looking at it from.
Well, we thank God you're here anyway.
Yeah.
It's by God's will that you're here with us.
Man.
So I'm gonna give the mic back to Chef Nee, because he's excited to even ask you some questions.
I am. I'm very excited.
He's really excited
I contacted you before.
Yeah, you
and
did.
you said I think that was the day you were leaving the UK, or like a day before, and you were like, when you come back, you'd let me know.
Yeah.
And she did let me know when she was in town. I was like, oh, you're so nice. You're so polite. So we are happy to have you on the show this morning. I'll start by asking your name, Niiella. I mean, the first time I heard your name, I was at it's a church in Ghana, I can't remember the name, and they're like, Niella's going to perform. Oh, that's an interesting name. And then she just killed it. And so the name stuck.
What church was that?
It's around Circle.
Is it Royal House?
Royal House. It was one of these. It was a show for it's one of these. I can't remember. I'll check on Niiella. Yes. Okay. It has like a show every year. New wine. Yeah. So it's a new wine with King's Kid.
Yeah.
And you performed, and that was awesome. So Niiella, it's like that's the first time I've heard that name.
Really?
Yes. Okay. So what does that name mean, or where's the name from?
Okay, so my full name, drum roll, guys, is Daniela.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Wow. When I was in year 8, I started writing it Niiella. I don't know why. I just started writing it Niiella. Yeah. And then I started writing it with 2 I's as well, because at the time, I don't know, like, we all just put double, if there's an E, there was does anyone,
You used to do that back in the day. I didn't do that, but I know people used to do that.
But yeah, we just used to double, if there was an E, you double the E, if there's an I, you double the I. So I just doubled it, and I kept writing it like that, and I guess it stuck, So that's how Niiella came about.
Wow.
That's really good. I'm shocked. I thought she was going to say, like,
so
it's a mashup of...
but then you just changed it on your own.
I thought you were going to say
it's a mashup of... It kind of sounds...
Yeah, Niiella sounds very...
I must say I'm disappointed. I thought it was like Ni and Ella put together. We have Niiella.
But that's fine.
I'm just saying. But it's fine.
Look at it.
Anyways. I'll get to it. But your voice makes up for it. So that's fine.
You.
Anyways, so am I wrong to say that you actually went back to Ghana to start your career?
Yes.
I found it very interesting that you did that. Is there a reason why that you
wrong.
go to your roots and then you want to come back and
you're very wrong. So I was about 18, and my teenage years were a bit rough. I guess I was struggling with quite a few things, and I kind of spiraled out a bit. So I was the bad child. So basically I got shipped back to Ghana by my mum. And my passport went missing. For those who read it, I'm doing quotation marks because it went missing.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up in Ghana in the first place. And I won't lie, I hated it. I mean, I'd been to Ghana before, like holiday. I went to school there for like 2 years when I was like 10, 11, 12, somewhere there. But obviously, I didn't plan to go and stay in Ghana. So I did genuinely, I hated it. I didn't have anything to do as well. And I just got arrested before my mum finally decided that she was going to send me back. So
Sorry, did you say
she got arrested? Can you give us like a background? Like, can you like go back and give us?
Okay, so
because the Niiella we are seeing now is very like prim and proper.
So prim and proper. Okay.
Yeah, but what, like clearly there's like a past.
But even those times, I guess I still look the same. I didn't look
so
wild.
Should we be afraid of you?
Really? Yeah, because I could never imagine you.
I looked that the same. So basically, I had this one friend that was like professional shoplifter, right? And she could just literally walk through the middle of the shop. And by the time it was in Milton Keynes, so there's 2 exits here and on the other side. By the time she gets to the other side, whatever she needs in life is in her bag. And it was she just walked. So there was this one time when I wanted something, and she was like, "Oh, it's fine, just pick it. Like, it's cool." And that time I was like, "Nah." And then the one time I decided to actually pick something,
That's
not because I didn't have the money. It's just I thought, well, if I pick it, I'm £10 richer. You get me? You see the logic, right? So
Great logic.
So then I decided to, but she wasn't there that day. But then I decided to pick it and just keep walking. And then the security guy kind of like, so I don't know how. What do you mean?
It's always when you're not like into something, when you do it, that's when it goes wrong.
Maybe I looked a bit, shifty. I don't know. But yeah, he stopped me and then he was like, I need to search your bag. And if there's anything I don't do, it's run for public transport and like run from people. I feel like it just looks like, in my mind, it just looks really silly, like I'm running and then there's a guy chasing. It was a bit of a like African uncle, so he would be chasing me and I was like, this is really awkward. So I was just like, whatever. So he searched the bag and then after he was like, I have to call the police, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
Are you serious?
And then the police came and they were like, we can either handcuff you or you can walk with us. And I was like, no, that's fine, let's walk. So we all walked like friends to the police car and then they put me in the cell for like maybe like 30 minutes, but I felt like 1 year because all the walls are the same and this is a little toilet in the corner. But yeah, I guess it was a result of just lots of stuff that was happening. I was just, I don't know. I felt like I was just like really spiraling out. I was really angry. I was depressed. At one point I was like really suicidal. I was like battling with low self-esteem. Just so many issues. I was kind of angry at myself as well because I felt like I couldn't fix my problems. Like I was just like in a really not a great headspace. And so after that happened, I went home. I had to now convince my mum because they were going to send a fine to the house. It was like £70. I was in college and I really got £30 a week, so I had to now make up a story. I told her I had this one girl in my college really hates me, and so she set me up and she put something in my bag and I didn't even know that it was there, and that's how the security man caught me and blah blah. And my mum was just like and then I knew she didn't believe me, but I wasn't going to back down from the lie. And after that she was like, we're going to go visit your dad in Ghana. And yeah, that's how I ended up there. Yeah.
And then
But then how was the Ghana experience like? Can you tell us? I mean, you said you hated it.
Yeah, in the beginning, I felt like I didn't have anything to do. Another thing that I was really struggling with at the time was I didn't really know what my purpose was. I felt like I didn't know, like, why am I here? Like, why am I on earth? What am I supposed to be doing? Because I never stood up one day and was like, oh, I'm going to be a musician, because I felt like I could do so many other things, so I could never really concentrate on one thing. You know, 1 minute I wanted to be a writer, next I wanted to be a dancer, then I wanted to be a rapper. I had an alter ego. He was a guy. What's
the guy's name? Roman.
So you had wow. So you had your alter ego was a guy.
Yeah, it was a guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So does it mean that now you know what your purpose is?
Definitely.
So how did you come to that point? Like, how did you find out what your purpose is in life?
Okay, so I was in Ghana for about a year. I wasn't talking to my mom. I was so angry. I was just like depressed and stuff. And then there was this one night where I was like, honestly, like I've had enough. Like I think I've tried and I've had enough. And I was just like, I just wanted to like die, or just like I just wanted it to end. But the only issue was I was not brave enough to like cut my So I was like, or maybe like jump from the balcony, but the balcony wasn't high enough. It was like one floor. Wow. And I was like, probably break a toe or a leg or my head, and I'll just end up injured. So I was like, that's not worth it. So why don't I pray? So I was like, why don't I pray? So I prayed instead. I literally went on the floor and I was just crying. I was like, God, if you're real at all, if you see me, if you hear me, then I really need to know what my purpose is and where I'm headed in life and what I'm supposed to do, because clearly I've tried it my own way and I've failed quite miserably. So if you can help me out, like just if you're there, see me, like something has to give.
Give me a sign.
Yeah, something has to give. And I forgot about that prayer, and then I went to Stars of the Future, which is, I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
Did you audition? Or?
I did.
Oh,
was that in the UK?
No,
it's in Ghana. Yeah, because
I mean, that's where like most of these guys came from. Efia.
They were.
That was like
season
quite a
one
number
or
of
something.
people like. Their careers were started from Stars of the Future. It's a really big show in Ghana.
Sorry?
Did you win?
I was second.
Wow, that's good.
What season was that?
Season 5. That's the last season that they
I didn't watch. I'm sorry, I didn't watch that. But I watched up to season 3. I think I watched up to the one Efia, and I think like that season.
Efia was like season 1.
Oh, then that's the last time I watched Stars of the Future.
That was the first and last.
That's the last time.
Adina was on Stars of the Future as well, was she?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I watched a bit of that as well.
some of them.
Interesting. So you went to Stars in the Future.
And then I went on it because like I said, I didn't have anything to do. And then I was watching the auditions. They put the really bad ones up, and I was laughing. And my sister was like, "Well, if you think you can do a better job, why don't you go?" And I was like, "No one really knows me out here. Even if I disgrace myself, it's not that deep." So I went. And I got through, and then I was like, okay, I guess I might as well take it seriously because I'm here now. So, yeah, I took it a bit more seriously. And then, like I said, I came second. And then that's when I kind of was like, wait a minute. This is the one thing. If anything, music is the one thing I've never gotten bored of. Yeah. 1 minute I'd want to be a designer. I'd start, I don't know, I bought a sewing machine, all these and I get bored. And then I'd want to be a writer, and I start writing stories and all sorts of things, and then I get bored. And then I want to be a hairdresser, and I start doing everyone's hair, and then I get bored. Like everything I'd get bored of, but the one thing I never got bored of was music. Like I'd be able to write. It was just always there, like in the background kind of thing. Yeah. It was always there, and I'm from a very musical family as well, so it was always like around me. And I guess through Stars of Future, I was able to decide that finally that actually I feel that this is what I want to do, and I felt connected with it. But then the issue at the time was what type.
I was going to come to that. I mean, so it was based on Stars of the Future that you settled on music, that's something that you enjoy doing and you want to pursue that. So I was going to ask you, so why would you pick like gospel music?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I also realized was throughout all my depressed times and angry times and all those, crazy things that happened in my life, the one thing that always kept me grounded was gospel music.
Why?
Because it just made me feel sane.
Okay.
Like it kind of made me feel grounded. It made me feel sane. It gave me a sense of peace. I mean, it sounds like I'd mash it up again, but it gave me a sense of it's true. You go off and do something else and it's like, oh dear. But yeah, it gave me a sense of peace and joy, and it just made me like feel happy and feel connected. I guess at the time I wasn't really concentrating on God, but it made me feel like this presence that was just amazing to me. And I remember there was this one time when I had this breakup, and I went to go listen to, I think it was like Rihanna or Beyonce or something.
Typically people would listen to like other artists because they can connect with their lyrics. So so if you say gospel, but
so I was listening to what song is it? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be
unfaithful.
And and I was just like crying even more. And then afterwards I was like, wait, what am I doing? Huh? No. But it's just like the lyrics, and the mood of the the mood of the song just kind of heightened all the depressed feelings and stuff that I was feeling. But then if I listened to gospel music, I had a complete different vibe from it. Then I was like, I think I'm gonna go with gospel because I definitely want other people to also feel, because I know there's so many young people going through the same things, low self-esteem issues, family problems, relationship problems, trying to figure out who we are, where we're going.
A lot was said in that phrase, but we'll just leave it hanging.
So much, and music is so powerful. It can change your mood. Listening to music can make you make a life-changing decision in the moment. Just in the height of the music, you're just like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to live.
It's a really powerful tool.
Yeah, so that's how I was like, I want to do that for the rest of my life, and it makes me happy.
I mean, the reason why I asked that question was I know you released a new song yesterday, and prior to that, you talked about how there was a song your mom sang to you all the time.
Well, she used to sing it in the house.
Yeah. So do you think your mom played like a role in that?
Definitely.
In that choice? She sang it to Ghana, so
I mean, because I saw the video, like you're trying to Snapchat and singing the song. That's so cute.
I was trying to get, because she was singing more.
And she's like mature or something.
Yeah. She was singing more. Like she has a particular way of singing these songs, So.
But you could hear her humming in the back, and I was like, that's so nice.
I was trying to catch her, but every time I start videoing, she
said mature. She was like, So you think she played like a major role in your decision?
She definitely did. My mom's a pastor.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So is it all coming together now?
It's always the pastor's kids.
I understand.
It's not true. That's gifted. We are all disturbed. We all need Jesus.
I think it's just because you have to live your life in the limelight.
Exactly.
So people see like all your flaws are like
so it's
heightened,
magnified,
and stuff like that. Yeah, but it's the same thing that every young person goes through.
Definitely.
Thank you.
But then not actually like saying, I've heard so many people say that I peaked. There's something called like a PKS, like Pastor's Kid Syndrome. Have you heard that as well?
Yeah.
What do you think about that statement, being a PK?
I think so much about it. I'm not sure which angle to come from.
Just feel free and just speak your mind.
Being a pastor's kid definitely, I would say, has this expectation on you, and for me, I was really angry about that growing up because I've always kind of been, I don't like rules and regulations, and I think that kind of helped me now because I'm not very easily influenced by people and things and stuff. I'm very if I'm going here kind of thing, and so I didn't like the fact that there was rules and regulations, especially when you're in a time when you're not even sure what you believe. It's like you have to it's church, we have to go, so everyone, where else are you going to go? My mum is super strict as well. So it was I had to come to church even if I didn't want to. I had to sing even if I didn't want to. I had to participate. And it was just kind of, so you just kind of go behind this wall of pretense sort of thing because you just want people to get off your back, to be honest. So you just, you play with emotions and stuff. I mean, suppose I was to come to church with my hair one way and my clothes one way, everyone would be like, oh, what's up with pastor's daughter? That kind of thing. So you just kind of fit in, but behind it all. And then to me, it was kind of annoying as well because then it's you have to live two lives.
Yes.
Because it's I'm not actually ready to be one of you guys. At the time, it's you guys. I'm not ready to be one of you guys. But then just to keep you off my back, I'm just going to play along with it, which I think is kind of not right,
So the stuff that happened, was it a climax of I'm just tired, I'm just going to be me? And then it was things were just spun out of control and
definitely. I mean, I was definitely searching. Like I said, I didn't know what my purpose was. I was definitely searching and kind of just trying to also figure out who I was apart from this. I grew up in church my whole life. There was times when there was ushers meeting on Monday, elders meeting on Tuesday, whatever on Thursday.
And you had to be at all of them.
Yeah, and some of the meetings happen in my house.
Yeah.
So I'm there. So you're there for everything, and it's if we're praying, why are you not praying? Is something wrong with you? You don't want to connect to God or something? Why are you in your room? Come and pray. So you have to come and join. So we had to be part of everything.
Yeah.
So it was just, I kind of spiraled out because I was searching. I wanted to figure things out for myself, not because of.
Yeah, I will say that I'm not a pastor's kid. I'm just a commoner.
A commoner.
It's a commoner. Wow.
I'm just a commoner. But I do. From what I've seen on the outside looking in, I do.
The chair.
Sorry, no. Sorry. So what I've seen from the outside looking in. Sorry, just to distract me. I think that like you've mentioned, because there's a high level of expectation, I guess, because it's you're the pastor's child, and a lot of times the pastor is the one talking to the congregation, maybe as a church or as a Christian you should be living a certain way, and so, and like you rightfully said, what a young girl or boy who's a pastor's child goes through or is the norm of every other young person, but because you are a pastor's child, it's just magnified even more. And
definitely. Because
maybe for the most time the pastor's the one that's preaching that you should be living your life like this and doing your life like this.
It doesn't make sense for your kids to be.
So a lot of the times I think too, sometimes when the reason why the people in the congregation could be so you were saying that I shouldn't be doing this, but then so I think that's another aspect of it too.
Definitely.
But I think it's normal. Just because you're a pastor's kid doesn't mean you're a human being or a young person. You go through all the
same things
as a young person.
Definitely.
Just obviously because it's much more in the spotlight and it's more magnified in comparison to the other girl boy
commoners.
The other commoners. Commoners like we that are just
You're a chief's son.
Okay.
Anyway, so we'll take another song from Niiella featuring Joe Metal. I'll ask you about the song Niiella. So this will be Around Here by Niiella featuring Joe Metal.
The chief's son, you can't mess around.
I'm sure. Yes, people, we're back, and you're still with the Hear Me Out show, 11:49 in the morning, with your girl Amma London, Amazing Grace, NK The Voice, Chef Nee, and Dr. Julius, with our lovely guest Niiella. How you doing, Niiella?
I'm alright so far.
That's good. Chef Nee still got some more questions for you. Just jump in whenever.
So we just listened to your song with Joe Metal. I think the video is pretty interesting, and you just said that you sold most of the clothes yourself.
Yes.
So do you take orders? So can we Amazing Grace?
No. Sorry. No. I put my sewing machine away quite a while ago.
You do men's stuff though.
She put her sewing machine a while ago.
No, did you used to do men's stuff? Is what I meant.
Did I? I think I sewed one outfit for a guy.
Can you sew trousers?
Trousers a bit stressful.
Yeah, I know, like pants, even for regular tailors, the shape.
Sorry, I'm on camera. Sorry.
That's not.
I was gonna ask if like you do pattern design, but it's fine. That's like just going into fashion. We'll get like a fashion designer into the studio later on. But that's a very interesting video. How did you hook up with Joe Metal? How did you guys end up doing the song together? So I think it was trending for a while in Ghana as well.
Yeah. So basically, he's quite a distraction, isn't he? Yeah. So I don't usually write tree.
Even the way you said the tree quite even,
I don't know what happened.
suspect.
I usually say tree like normal tree. I don't know what happened just now. It's this person sitting next to me. So I don't usually write tree songs, but then I got like part of that song, but then I didn't have a second verse, and I wanted someone to help me out with it. So I just called up Joe, and I was like, "Oh, would you help me with this song?" And he was like, "Yeah." So he wrote the second verse, and then we kind of rearranged it a bit, and they went to the studio, recorded it, and I was like, "Let's do a video."
How did you guys end up with the bridge? Because it's so different from the entire song.
Oh, the end.
Yeah, I was like,
that's more like
that's interesting.
Reprise? I don't know. Reprise. So he's had a straight face. He laughed. I'm happy about that. Yeah. So basically, what happened? It was part of the song, but it was different.
It was really different.
Yeah, we were
gonna know where to put it.
No, but it was upbeat. It was a bit upbeat. So, but then it just didn't sound like the rest of the song. So we took it out, and then eventually we're like, should we turn it into a different piece of a song at the end? So they were like, okay then. So we did it, and I think it's okay. So we just left it there.
So okay, because I know we have like songwriters, we have singers. So which means you do both.
Yeah.
And when did you figure out that you were both?
I was like 15.
So you've been writing for a very long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's the first song you wrote? Do you remember the first song you wrote?
Well, no,
you don't remember the first song you wrote?
I mean, I remember the first song that I sang. Like one of the early ones that I sang at like church. But I mean, I always apparently when I was like really young, I'd come up with like one-liner. You know, one-liner. Yeah, like maybe like Jesus loves me, Jesus loves me, or something, and I'll go and sing to my mum, and she'll be like, yeah, my mum was really cool with that. Like, she'd really encourage you, like, oh wow, you wrote a song, let me record it, and then she'll record you, kind of thing. So like you feel like encouraged, sort of thing. So I guess I was always writing songs.
That's good.
Maybe nobody would listen to them, but they were, yeah.
So you write. So you write all your songs?
Yeah, I believe I've written
most of your songs.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I know your brothers play instruments as well.
Yeah, they do.
Because at the show I think they were playing like the drums.
One was on bass that day.
Bass?
Was it bass? Yeah, one was on bass that day.
Are they older or younger?
Younger.
The younger
but I have.
Okay.
For what?
I'm just making sure the credit.
I have older ones as well, but I don't think you'd know them.
Older ones.
So what instruments do your brothers play? Just forget.
One plays keys.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
And then the other one plays, well, he started with drums, but now he plays bass and
when
keys.
I saw him, I think he was on drums.
Is it the Royal House thing?
Yes. No, I think I seen you at two different events, and one time
then probably it was drums.
I remember.
Yeah, he started with drums, but now he's playing bass and keys. He seems to be able to play anything he plays.
Both. And how has that helped your ministry as well?
That's definitely been like a major.
Yeah, because I know like
you just got brothers that you can be like.
At least once you get a keyboard, you're cool.
Yeah, I think once you got keyboard, drums.
Because usually we have a keyboard in the house, or there was a time when we were all in Ghana at the same time. So, we just go to like the church house, and then they just play. They'd make up progressions. I'd come in, I'd sing, I'd write. You know, so we were just always consistently making music together. So that definitely it helps to have someone like right there that I just thought of something and just quickly put it together. Yeah. Yeah. So
now, how like being in Ghana or being a musician now? How do you feel like? Do you feel like you've really broken into the industry? Like, you know, like when people say like Niiella, it's a like a house or like a big name. Like, do you think you've really made your mark, or it's gradually?
I think now, you know, I could be just randomly walking on the street and stuff, and people just, you know, that kind of thing. And I've even had like the one that shocked me the most was a Toto driver who just you know, because people like trotro drivers, they have a particular. I know this sounds a bit stereotypical.
Songs that they listen to.
Yeah.
Oh, right here like
they have a particular type of songs that they would listen to. So
shouting and
since
crying.
me, I'm supposedly a bit.
And if they know you.
Yeah, for a guy to come up to me and be like, I know you, you're that girl from the TV. And I was just like, oh. Yeah, he was like, you're that girl from the TV.
But do people recognize you more from the Stars of the Future or as
no?
I don't think
I think I've changed to I had the long weaves and like full face makeup and so it was just a lot different at the time. So I think maybe I know some people see me and like, oh, that's the girl from Stars of the Future, but usually maybe because of the presentation, they're
so
a bit like.
So it's like the natural hair, like the look you're going for. Is this like what caused you to go with like the natural look?
Peace.
I was about to say weaves and stuff was just a bit stressful for me, to be honest. I feel like it's a bit long. And then what even happened? I'd perm my hair a lot, and then it'd end up breaking. I felt like it would get stuck at a particular, and then it kind of thin. Yeah. And then I was just like, there was this one time when I saw this girl's puff, and I asked myself, why do I actually perm my hair? And I was like, I don't know the answer to that question. I think it's just because everyone's perming their hair. Like I didn't know the answer to the question, and I was like, but I like natural hair. So then I just went home and literally just cut it off.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How did your mom feel about that?
She's a grown girl, so
like recently I cut the sides. Like it was a bit more, but I cut the sides. Yeah. So I just
it suits you though.
Suits you, yeah. It's like your look.
It's working.
But tell us about Freno, which is your latest song.
Yeah.
Why should we listen to Freno?
And what does Freno mean for our non?
And apart from it being nice,
so Freno basically means, for those that don't understand the G, it means call him.
Coffee.
Call him.
Now you know.
And it simply says call him in the time of need and he will answer you. And
that's sweet.
I'm sorry. It's just because you're always on his case about his tweet.
Tweet.
You guys should give him lessons to laughing at him. Anyway.
Yeah, continue. I'm sorry. It's just sidetrack, but yeah.
Yeah, so sorry guys. So Freno, there's a song that my mum used to sing quite a lot when I was growing up. She used to sing all kinds of songs when I was growing up, and that's one of the songs that she would sing quite a lot. And I decided to kind of like put my own spin on it. And I know people don't really know me for singing Tree so much, and I just kind of wanted to. I mean, I do sing Tree. I sing Tree at my church like almost every single Sunday when I'm in Ghana. So I sing Tree a lot, but people have just kind of.
So the material you've pushed out hasn't necessarily been. Yeah. But then again, Obiani who is Tree, isn't it? Yeah. So I mean, I think that's like a fair analysis of your. So if you want to listen to Freno, where can we find this on Spotify? And iTunes?
Yeah. It's on Spotify. It's on iTunes. SoundCloud. It's on SoundCloud. It's on, where is it? It usually goes on quite a few places because it goes up on Amazon Music, Google Play.
That's cool.
If you hear it
everywhere, like once you any music streaming device.
Yeah.
I just wanted to. It is like a young person listening to us who's going through a phase, trying to figure out themselves or trying to. It's like they're trying to find out who they are. I think you've been through it clearly from what you've said. Yeah. What advice would you give them?
I would definitely say to anyone who's going through something that you should definitely be yourself. I wouldn't advise you to kind of go with the flow just because everybody else is. I would advise you to address the issue. Sometimes we are going through a lot and we know we're going through a lot, but we don't actually we address like issues around the issue and we don't address the issue
itself.
Sometimes it could be different kind of things. It could be stuff that happened when we were growing up. It could be family issues. It could be just, it's not nice to talk about the fact that, maybe I feel insecure as compared to everybody else around me. It's not nice to say it, but if it's the truth, it's the truth. And once you can identify what the truth is, you're able to, like, now you see it, so you're able to pray about it. You're able to, instead of God help me, I'm struggling, what are you struggling with? And I feel like in my journey with God, anytime I've been really honest, not even like doing those prayers that Heavenly Father, those ones. It's more like,
the sincere ones, sincere, heartfelt.
I can't deal with this anymore. Like, can you help me? I know that I'm screwing up my own life. I know that maybe I'm in a relationship with this guy. I know that he's complete, a mess for me. But truthfully, I really like him. So if you can help me not like him, I'd appreciate it. I'm very real when it comes to
those things.
When it comes to God, I'm so honest. Like, it's so real because I feel like God is like the last. It's like your last
chance.
Yeah.
And truthfully, he actually sees everything, but he needs you to tell him.
Yeah.
He can actually see you stressing yourself about it. He won't do anything about it because
He can't, it's
the
like
rule is that you're supposed to.
he can't step into you asking
you're supposed to open the door and let him in to the situation. So
I think we should end it there. That's a good motto to go with.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah.
What is your root issue?
Oh, what was my root issue?
Mm-hmm.
Are we all listening to me?
Yeah.
Okay. He's so quiet.
I don't. It's
My root issue, for me, I think it was.
You think he was?
It was a few things, but I'm like the main one itself was the fact that, like, growing up, I just felt like I didn't fit in, like I was a circle trying to fit into a square, and that made me end up doing lots of different things to try and be like to fit into the. I felt like I was different from my siblings. I felt like I was different from people around me. I just felt different, and that made me act out. And I didn't know what my purpose was. Like that was a big issue. That kind of the purpose thing kind of materialized a bit later. But growing up, I just remember that I felt different, and I kind of felt less than compared to other girls around me. I didn't feel as pretty. I didn't feel like I just. I don't know, I just felt off,
So for someone listening who probably feels the same, like you're talking about root issue, like how deep does that root go to kind of yank it out?
So for me, I would say different things that happened in my life caused me to address these issues. There was times when I literally had to like speak out and tell myself, you are fine, you are beautiful, you're interesting, you make people laugh. I would speak out loud like I was crazy, but sometimes it helps to give yourself, because in your mind by yourself it's like you don't have that assurance in yourself that
you
you
say
are
out loud.
But there's so much can happen when you say things out loud.
That's right.
Sometimes you're in a situation and it seems like it doesn't make sense, but as you start telling your friend, you kind of get the answer before you finish.
Yeah,
that's right.
That one. Yeah. You
so
stuff out, you actually clock
there's
on what you're
something
say.
about bringing stuff out. When you keep it in, I feel like that's also like a tool of the devil to keep you in the shell, like to keep you in that.
I mean, it just confirms what the man of God once told me. He said the devil is most effective when he's hiding. Once you bring it out in the open, he has nothing to stand on to get you. So if I'm struggling with this, everybody knows. So they know how to address, how to come to me with certain issues. But if they don't understand why you are behaving in a particular way, it also makes it difficult for them to understand and help.
Yeah.
So the devil is most effective when he's hiding. If it's anyone who's listening to us who's going through any issues, just know that it helps to speak out. There should be somebody out there that you trust and are confident enough to tell, and who can pray with you. So I always say, don't just tell anyone. Tell somebody who can pray with you and hold your hand through the process. So guys, it's 2 minutes past 12 o'clock, and this is the Hear Me Out show on ABN Radio. So we need to sign out. This is Chef Nee, and I have in the studio
I'm in London.
Shout out to all the homies.
Amazing Grace.
Brighto Kubuating, aka NK The Voice. I haven't got a voice at the moment, but yeah, still.
And Dr. Julius behind the cameras.
And Niiella, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for sharing your stories. Very insightful.
Yeah, very insightful.
Your social media.
Oh yes, my handles. So my name is Niiella, NIIELLA, and it's Niiella on Instagram _official. Twitter is Niiella official. Facebook is Niiella. Snapchat is Niiella. Just type Niiella.
And you'll find
And you'll find me.
All right, thank you guys.
Okay, thank you very much for listening. God bless you all.
Have a nice day, everyone.
And thank you.
Because